Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and we're going to look at game number 4 in our 20 from 1984 series. And this was the first arcade video game that I can think of to at least try to faithfully replicate the martial art of karate. And this game was created by Technos and Data East, and it is called Karate Champ. Now this is in two different versions. One was a tournament style, in which you can play two players, but it's alternating play. And then there was a versus version, and that's for one player solo or two player simultaneous play, and it's a double joystick game. Now this is where it gets really complicated. There is a litany of moves, and there's the list of moves. You can, with joystick number 1, you basically do moves. You just move around, and with joystick number 2, you execute an attack, and you can use the controls solo or you can use them together. And it says both joysticks together, and that's you use them both together to make a special attack. There's like back kicks, jumping back kick, sweeps, upper punches, roundhouses, squatting punches, all sorts of stuff. And that's just way too much for one person to remember. Goodness. So I had to have the list of moves in front of me while I was playing. We are going to start with the tournament play. I'd never seen the tournament version. It was shortly replaced in arcades by the Versus version, which was seen far more often, I think, or at least in America. I think the first place I might have seen Karate Champ might have been at the Oregon coast. Really a good arcade that's still there. Got leaves to show, like, I guess the passing of seasons or something. And player number 1 is in a white gi, and player number 2 is in a red gi. And yeah, there was really nothing like this at the time. This kind of ushered in the versus fighting genre. Very early example. It's technically flawed, and the tournament version I don't really care for that much. The referee's voice is all garbled. I definitely prefer the versus version, and I think a lot of arcade gamers like that one better too. But yeah, you use the double joysticks together to make various moves. And if you have a tie score, and this has point scoring like in actual karate, that bonus game, there are bonus games you can play. That bonus game and that bonus game I do not think are in the arcade game. I don't know why those were shown, but we'll go ahead and get started. It looks more like he's in a ninja gi than gonna do a karate gi. For a while, you get to do practicing. You got to practice moves, and I'm doing every single move that I can in the limited time that I have. You can actually start a technique and then not complete it to sort of fake out your opponent. And that was later used in some fighting games. Yeah, it sounds like the judge is stoned or something. He speaks so slowly. It's comical. But to start with, you are in front of your own students in your dojo. Almost every move is a half point. There are some moves that only if you execute it just right, it can be a full point. One move that, and my students applaud. And here's the first bonus stage. There are objects that get thrown at you, a total of 6. I got chicken, and I was afraid I couldn't remember the high kick attacks for the last 2, so I just ducked and let him sail over my head. You get, I think, like 3,000 points or something for, ooh, full point. There we go. You get like at least 3,000 points, I think, for breaking all the objects in that bonus game. But there are various different bonus games. One of them is a charging bull that attacks you, and that became a Data East staple, or it made a cameo appearance in some Data East games. Sort of a Data East icon. And there's another bonus stage where you just try to time your punch. You just press the right joystick, I think, in any direction at just the right time to break as many of those blocks as you can. And now the setting is outdoor in this sporting arena type of thing, where you have two commentators at a desk on the right and then a cameraman on the left. But yeah, if you tie at the end and the time runs out, then the judge will always give it to the computer, which sucks. So definitely don't let it tie and go to a decision. And this is another object thing. Yeah, I'm just too chicken. I could not remember what the high kick was, even though I have the list of moves in front of me, but my eyes couldn't move fast enough. There is one move that might be able to get you far, and it does often work. It's like if you press the left joystick up and the right joystick down, you will do a forward flip, often over your opponent. You might have to inch forward just a little bit before you do it. And then you can end up behind them and then do a reverse kick. Note that you get points for each move that you do. And here we're going to face that bull. They let the bull into this arena. Or no, it's outdoors in the beach. And your timing has to be just right. There is a sailboat on the right on the water. And as the bull starts to pass across it, that is right about when you want to do a forward punch. Or I think it's a lunge punch. And I think that's both joysticks to the right. But your timing has to be just right. That bull, I think, appeared as a boss in I think it was a Fighter's History Part 2 or something. Fighter's History Dynamite. I think that bull was a boss. But we are not going to do a playthrough with this version. Well, you keep fighting in this same stage here, so I wanted to spend most of my time on the versus version. So yeah, we'll just skip ahead a little bit. There's also some ice blocks that you might have to break. And yeah, if you're tied and you run out of time, they give it to the opponent. And he's got red, evil eyes. Creepy. But your game will end if the computer wins a match. There are 10 Dons, ranking, like a black belt ranking. And then it says CPU, and then the computer is just insanely tough. But now we're going to do the versus version of Karate Champ. And this time around, you fight over a girl, and there's various cool outdoor locations. Yeah, I like this version much better. If you play 2-player simultaneous play in this, then it shows a match counter at the around the top left. I like that it tells what move you made. But when one player wins, I used both players with the same directional controls in MAME. But if one player loses and you have to play each other twice, just like you have to play any opponent twice in either version of Karate Champ, then the girl says better luck to the loser and my hero to the winner. And then in the versus version, the objects can come from either side, and then the loser has a chance to continue the fight, and then they have to play the first player again 2 matches. But we're going to play a 1-player versus computer game of versus Karate Champ in just a moment. I don't know if Versus is the official name of this version of Karate Champ. And then there's a location where you're on a log. There's various cool locations. The ref is still walking very stiffly, but at least he's a lot easier to understand, and he doesn't sound like he's stoned. Yeah, I definitely like the Versus version much better.
Full point.
The high score is at 20,000. I think, can't remember if all the high scores were 20,000. Maybe they weren't. But again, you get a practice here, and you can decline to practice. Just press player 1 start, and you can skip all this. I don't know how anyone can remember all the frickin' moves from this game. I didn't have time to read all of the moves. I mean, I've got them in front of me, but I didn't have time to read them off the picture that I had earlier of showing all the moves. So I'm afraid you'll have to just study them on your own. But yeah, that is one trick that might work for you for a while at least, is do the front forward flip over the opponent and then do a reverse kick in his back behind him. There are moves that you can make when your back is towards your opponent to turn around and kick or whatever. And note that this location is a dock. There's just various cool locations in this game, and for each location you have to face your opponent twice. And then the girl will come towards you and say, "My hero." Ah, nice. It's hard to tell what gives a full point, the rare full point. Oftentimes, maybe it's when an opponent tries an attack and they miss, and you get a good strike on them. Maybe that gives a full point. I'm not entirely sure. My hero. And then that's followed by some sort of bonus stage. And yeah, objects can appear behind you and you don't have time. You might need to center yourself, or put yourself in the center there, so you have time to react to the objects coming from either side. This game might be a little bit harder than the tournament one. Now, if an opponent misses with their attack, be ready for a quick forward strike, and you can use any strike with just the right joystick. So if you pull back and block, there's a lunge punch. If you pull back and block an opponent's attack, you could probably just press forward with the right joystick and you'll give them a quick strike. Now, I might have been a little bit off with the sounds. They might not have been entirely right in this video. I eventually got them straightened out, but some of the games don't. The sound wants to be a little off in when I'm recording it. Oh, sorry, I think I used maybe one save state there.
Half point. Begin.
Well, I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I'm going to be taking a Monday off because I thought I was going to go to the doctor to have my foot looked at. It's feeling kind of sprained or something. But they're not going to be open until, or they're not going to be able to admit me until Thursday. But it's going to be early enough, so I'll still be able to go to work. Just put a new insole in my shoe. Hopefully that'll help, but it's not entirely comfortable. My hero. Yeah, various locations, and here's another bonus stage. You just press the right joystick right when he's close to those blocks to try to break as many as he can with his foot. And now we're by a stream in a bamboo forest. Cool locations in this game. Hey, full point, awesome. Cool, just different locations. I like this one so much better than the tournament version. And again, the tournament version I think was just rarely seen in the US, if at all. The Versus version is the one everybody seemed to see in the arcades. Yeah, I think I first saw it at the at an Oregon Coast arcade called, I think, Funland, and it's still there. It's still very, very popular. Before they put arcade machines in, even, I used to go up there. They had a big old shooting gallery. They had a whole bunch of skee-ball machines, and they were 10 cents a piece, and they gave you 9 wooden balls. It was just as fun as anybody who appreciates the modern skee-ball machines. And we would collect the tickets and get candy or little toys or whatever. It was a lot of fun back then. And there's that bull again. Yeah. Your timing has to be great to hit that bull. He'll usually flatten you, but yeah, I think he appeared as a boss in Fighter's History Dynamite.
Full point.
Nice. Yeah, you can knock down an opponent when they're in mid-jump.
Half point.
Yeah, I could tell this sounds a little bit off here, sorry. I was able to fix it a little bit later on, but sometimes that just happens.
Half point.
Yeah, this game, it's not technically great.
Half point.
And the collision detection or the hit detection seems very, very off. You'll swear you hit your opponent and somehow it doesn't register. But I can't give a whole lot of tips other than, yeah, doing the forward flip to get behind your opponent and then kicking them does seem to yield some positives more often than negatives. So you might try that a lot. It's a weird big head. Yeah, again, you get 6 objects. Whoops. 6 objects thrown at you. She's in a bikini on a boat. There's like 6 objects that get thrown at you, and I think you get like a 3,000 point perfect bonus if you hit them all. But I can't remember all the controls right off the top of my head. Yeah, if you can block or get the opponent to miss with their attack and then quickly do a forward strike of some sort, then you'll often hit them and get the half point or full point, depending on what strike it was. But yeah, that seems to work a lot. It won't work every time, for sure.
Gun.
So keep that in your arsenal, but also try to do all sorts of other strikes. And there was another instance where they missed with their jump kick, and I was able to do a quick forward strike.
Half point.
But yeah, sometimes they'll turn around and do a quick attack, and you won't have
Gun.
time to avoid that, when you jump behind them.
Half point.
But it does work more often than not, it seems.
Gun.
I think, whoops.
Half point.
I think more often it works in the versus version than the tournament version. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Half point.
Hope you're all able to stay warm. Hope you're able to afford a roof over your head. I know these COVID times are tough, and any place that has ridiculous restrictions, boy, I feel your pain. That really sucks. Now is that a Denny's back there?
Gun.
People driving down this highway are probably gonna go, what the hell is a karate tournament doing on the side of the road?
Gun.
I'm guessing maybe the loser has to buy the winner
Half point.
Grand Slam breakfast.
Gun.
But yeah, the versus version was the only version I ever saw in the arcades. But this was everywhere. This was at all the arcades. The two joystick control panel with all those moves just kind of intimidated me. I can't remember if I even tried it in the arcades. I was just like, that looks too complicated. And it really is super complicated. You have to have all those moves packed into your brain.
Half point. Gun.
But yeah, the voices in this are so much better than in the tournament one.
Gun.
But they even at just the beginning stance, the cat stance.
Half point.
This is a really surprisingly faithful
Gun.
iteration of the sport of karate. I used to take karate.
Half point.
I took it for a handful of years or so.
Gun.
I was real close to getting a black belt.
Half point.
I got my third brown belt, and I'd been there long enough to probably be pretty close to take a black belt test. I might have passed. I mean, I wasn't bad. I mean, I'm a really timid person, and it definitely helped me. Yeah, eventually you will get bulls from both sides consistently, probably 6 bulls or so. And it gets really, really too tough to get your timing perfect every time. Now we're in Holland, I guess. I like that the girl that you're fighting for, or fighting over, changes her clothes to reflect the background often.
Half point.
I didn't get through all the locations. I think there were like four more that I didn't quite get to. And we'll look at a sample of those.
Half point.
Yeah, I ended up stopping short of my black belt because my sensei gotten some sort of legal troubles, and I was just like, well,
Half point.
I didn't want to train under somebody else all of a sudden. I just kind of gave up. I was like, eh.
Half point. Gun.
I mean, I enjoyed it. It definitely kept me fit.
Half point.
I was still pretty darn fit in my 30s. I would lift weights every day, or I would do a whole lot of different calisthenics or exercises. My stomach was
Half point.
a six-pack, just solid, and that is absolutely no longer the case.
Half point.
For 1 year straight, I was lifting weights recently, but I just kind of gave it. Well, that's my game, and at the end, you get bonus points for each girl that you fought over. Well, I got to a 7th degree black belt. And so I'll put in my initials. And that was the versus version of Karate Champ. And we will look at the settings that I did not get to. And there's city street with a gal in tennis outfit. And now we're in Native American Indian village with teepees, and the gal is in a Indian princess getup.
Half point.
And now here is outside of a dojo, Japanese village.
Gin.
Take
Half
that.
point.
And now we're inside the dojo.
Gin.
And now we're outside at night on a hilly road.
Gin.
And then you go back to the dock sequence. But that was Karate Champ by Technos and Data East in 1984, game number 4 in our 20 from 1984 series. Well, I thank you for watching. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you soon with game number 3. Bye-bye, folks.